to learn the fate of his impeachment case on the 8th of June after a three-judge bench of the High Court reserved his judgment following 5 days of intense legal arguments. During the closing submissions, Gachagua's legal team insisted that the impeachment process was marred by procedural irregularities, lack of fair hearing, and what they described as a sham public participation exercise. The lawyers urged the court to defend the Constitution and safeguard due process. Apollo Kamau with more on that story.
After months in the quest for justice since his impeachment in October 2024, and 5 days of public hearings, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's fate now hangs in the balance after the High Court concluded hearing the case and set June 8th as Judgment Day.
And we hope to do that on 8th of June 2026 in the ceremonial hall at 11 a.m.
With Friday being the final day for closing submissions by more than 40 petitioners, Gachagua's lawyers raised 18 grounds on why the court should nullify his impeachment, pleading with a three-judge bench to give him justice, saying he was not accorded a fair hearing before the Senate after his sickness plea to adjourn the impeachment sitting fell on deaf ears.
In such a fundamental matter as the removal from office as Deputy President, having been elected by over 7 million Kenyans, that right to a fair trial, the denial to accord him that opportunity amounted to a gross violation of his constitutional right to a fair trial.
During Friday's sitting, Gachagua's lawyers argued that the Constitution was under threat, citing what they termed as a flawed impeachment process that violated the law. They also dismissed the narrative that the country would descend into a constitutional crisis if the impeachment is nullified, refuting claims that a nullification would invalidate Deputy President Kithure Kindiki's tenure in office.
The drafters of this constitution calculated everything that they could, where to place the word shall and where to place the word may. They calculated which institution would have which powers. But I submit before this court that it seems that they had not anticipated the madness of people who are seeking to overthrow the constitutional order and take this country, the Westminster parliamentary kind of democracy. We are a constitutional democracy.
Your Lordship, the fate of this constitution squarely rests on your hands. The fate of our democracy squarely rests on your hands. The fate of the people's power, the sovereignty of the people, and the ability of the people to govern themselves and decide the government that they want to be governed and the mode of governance rests on your hands.
The two houses of parliament were also faulted by Gachagua's lawyers for allegedly rushing the impeachment process in what they described as a clear violation of the law and impeaching Gachagua on grounds of weak evidence without proper public participation as required by law.
In America, Chief Justice Rehnquist hears the trial of Bill Clinton for an entire month. But here, because you've come up with some kind of a burial program that ordinarily takes a day, that's how you want to impeach or conduct the trial of a deputy president. My Lord, this would subject us to be a mockery amongst nations that are proud to be constitutional democracies.
The High Court faces a litmus test on a judgment that will have a huge impact, not just on Gachagua's political career, but also on the supremacy of the country's constitution. Apollo Kamau, TV 47, at the Milimani Law Courts.